Below Deck fans, welcome back. We have 2 episodes, not just one, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I'm bossy. I'm the first girl to scream on the track. I switched up the beat of the drum.
This is your song, both
Yeah,
of you
I
two.
don't know this song. I've never heard it,
But you
I'm
got the
going with
dance
it.
moves. It's about a girl, so I'm going to leave it to you two. Let's start it off right now, actually. We got 2 episodes. Welcome in to AFTERBUZZ and the Below Deck. We got 2 episodes tonight. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips, and I'm joined by the bossy girls themselves.
Hello, it's Angela Struck. You can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
And hello everyone, I'm Madison Conklin. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maddie Says This.
I gotta say, I didn't really know what the song was gonna be, but I feel like this song kind of fits both of you two.
This was a really, but this was a good choice.
Thank
Props
you.
to Maddie for
Thank
coming
you.
up with this
Thank you.
song
Thank you.
selection.
Thank you.
I think that side thinks it's a good choice. I'm not sure I think so. Well, welcome in, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for another 2 episodes of Below Deck. We missed last week. We had something going on here in America, but we're going to move along to
Yep, we're gonna move right along.
Season
This is
4.
a political hour.
episode 10 and episode 11. We're going to start at episode 10, Bombed by a Care Bear. Any thoughts on the entire episode?
Well, I like how you let up. It was
I
like
know.
bombing.
This is like a lot going on here. Well, I thought it was really interesting because the charter guest, the blonde woman, she was on The Real Housewives of Long Island. So I don't know for anybody out there who
they
is
are
a
bringing a
Bravo
lot of-
super fan.
Yeah, Bravo people,
Yeah.
reality stars
Yeah.
on this season.
I recognized her.
Okay.
So another Bravo cross show, right?
Yeah, but I also thought it was very funny because she, on the Real Housewives show, got a divorce, and she was going through a very messy divorce and having to like downsize her house and everything. And then she gave the lowest tip that they've received.
She
thus
had to
far.
save
So
money.
it makes sense,
So
right?
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
she's
she had to save
hurting.
money. I'm gonna take all my friends on this yacht, but I'm gonna save money by not tipping the people
Right.
that kissed my ass the
Right.
entire weekend,
Right.
or
So I
3
thought that was
days,
kinda
2
funny.
days.
One of the
So-
major themes of episode 10 was Kyle and Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had seen this, but Kyle had come out talking about how he's transgender. He's got a transgender girlfriend, or he has a transgender
Yeah.
girlfriend. He's into, they've been dating for a while. Ashley,
About 2 years or so.
about 2 years. And at the same time, Sierra's quite frustrated with Kyle. And basically she said that he's getting on her last nerve. Where do you guys stand in the whole Kyle and Sierra situation?
I think Sierra kind of had it right. I mean, he just kept making these little. Well, they both kind of did under their breath, but I've noticed more so than her, just like F off and shut the he's like aggressively going after her when like.
Right.
Get over it. Are
I
you still
agree.
upset? What's happening?
I feel like he's the guy that like didn't get the girl, and so now he's like, I don't like her anyway.
But then
And it's
again,
like,
he's got this Ashley character for 2 years,
Yeah.
and then he was pissed at her.
that's what annoys me.
It doesn't make sense.
I totally agree with you there. I see a major problem there. He got mad at Sierra for like her going on the date and admitting the fact that she had a boyfriend at home, and now he has a girl back home, so I just think that was really lame, and I think he needs to like get his act together. I think he's a little all over the place.
Definitely
Yeah.
hypocritical. Some of the statements that they both said, Sierra had said that Kyle is getting on my last nerve. She also called Kyle dramatic and a queen, which I want to get your take on in a second. But Kyle said about Sierra, I actually fucking hate that person, which not nice.
Wow.
What did you think, though, about the queen comment? Did you think that was a crossing the line by Sierra? And because Kyle said he was only... that she only said it based on knowing that he was into drag. So did you think that that was crossing the line?
I don't know
or
I honestly am going to plead like ignorance here. I actually don't know like if that's an offensive. Is that an offensive?
Yeah. I mean, if you can mean, yeah, it is.
Okay.
It can
Even
mean
if you're
that.
into drag.
Yeah,
I thought that's like an
mean,
okay thing to say. I'm not actually sure.
It could be,
I don't know.
It could be taken as
I think it's
homophobic.
depend on how it's used.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the
So-
way that she said it was kind of like, "Shut up, you're a queen," which would be insulting.
So now's a good time if you guys are in the live chat or you're
Yeah.
watching during the week. Let us know in the comment section, and of course, give us 5 stars. Let us know if you think that Sierra crossed the line by calling Kyle a queen.
yeah.
I think that they're both in the wrong, but it is weird that in the way the whole scenario is played out, because Kyle was interested in Sierra.
Right.
Kyle asks Sierra on a date. Sierra's not that into it, and then all of a sudden, after the fact, now we find out Kyle's transgendered
and has a girl back home. I agree
So
with
weird.
what Sky Patterson, he says Sierra's very annoying and frustrating, but Kyle can be very aggressive and vulnerable. And I totally agree with that. I think that's the problem, is like he felt vulnerable, he got rejected, so now he's coming on pretty like aggressive and mean to her, but she is annoying. I mean, she like is a bit all over the place, and she shouldn't be rude to him, and she can't be condescending.
Yeah,
too.
and I think we already saw that coming from like the first episode. Everyone's like, she's got that crazy look in her eye, and like it hasn't come out full force, but it creeps out from time to time.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that is awesome to see is that Kyle says that Ashley makes him feel like a person, and so that's good. And
Yeah, he got very,
Emotional?
and just really opened up about it, and like
really
was
did.
telling everyone on, like the crew, like, this is Ashley, this is me, I love her, we've been dating for 2 years, like there's something about her, she brings me to life.
Okay, if Sierra goes on that date and likes Kyle, do we ever find out about his other
Good
life?
This is what I was saying.
Good
It's like,
point.
so if he's so in love with her, why did this just come up afterwards? My only reason for why I think maybe he's had issues coming out or something, and maybe didn't want to go there, that he's dating. Maybe he felt vulnerable and like didn't want everybody to know, and then maybe he felt comfortable enough. I don't know. I just thought that was really weird, because if
Yeah.
you're so in love with somebody, why would
It just
you?
the
Well,
order of the operations seem out
really
of whack.
weird.
Also, how much more awkward would it have been if Sierra was into Kyle?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And
and we
then-
see
by
next
the way-
week that Ashley comes.
And he tells her that he went
and
on a date
she's,
with Sierra, and
like,
she's pissed.
Everything is very convoluted.
I'm excited to see what happens next week.
The Brits are all convoluted. No, I'm kidding. No, you're not. Kyle,
I
you're a
don't know
little
right now, but
convoluted.
that's not Sierra and Kyle is not the only kind of situation going on in the
Yeah.
boat, because we've got a really chaotic boat now. Let's move on to Ben and Emily.
Yeah.
Getting along well, but that is affecting Ben and Kate's relationship.
Yeah.
And even
Ben's
Emily and
relation-
Kate's relationship.
Yeah.
So, where do you guys stand on Ben, Kate, Emily, the whole scenario of everyone?
Ben is being a little unprofessional
Yes.
now. He's totally letting
Yeah.
his I don't know. He's
He's like
fucking
a
up.
schoolboy.
He is,
He's
yeah.
being like, like, oh, should I talk to her? Should I? And it's like, people get sick of hearing it all the time. I think they're adorable. We talked to Emily. I think they're a really cute couple. I saw on social media that they are officially dating now. He's asked her to be his girlfriend. They're official. So congrats. But I just, it's a really small group that they're in. They're together on top of each other 24/7, and like no one wants to hear about it. Everybody else doesn't have their person there. It's like
Well, and when you're letting it affect the way you're working,
Yeah.
I can see why Kate's getting frustrated with Emily, because Emily is, young, a little naive, and she's not taking orders from Kate. Orders, I shouldn't say, but she's not listening to Kate, and that's affecting the charter guest, which then affects Captain Lee,
yeah,
and that's not good.
And I think the major faux pas too on Ben's part was when he asked Kate if he thought that I think it was it uni or what was it, that to take the conch was good, and Kate said no, I wouldn't serve it, and then Emily was like, oh, I think it's fine, and he went with Emily over the superior, and then the guest didn't like it.
Well,
so
It's
Well, that's what you do.
It's
You get
definitely a weird situation, because Ben and Kate have this previous relationship
Yeah.
that's been, they have a close relationship,
Yeah.
and now Kate's kind of being pushed out, and it's making everything very sketchy.
But I don't
things-
even think, and I don't know if you're like leaning towards this, that Kate's getting jealous, because I don't think she is. I
I'm
think
not-
she's just getting annoyed
I think
with
she's
it.
getting
Yeah.
frustrated, because
Frustrated,
on
and
one
she
hand,
might be missing Ro a little bit.
Yeah.
well,
A
she's
lot.
definitely missing her part, but she has this good relationship with Ben that now it's not so good.
Right.
It makes her work dynamic not that good, and the one person that Ben was going to Kate for the advice, and now it's like Kate's, well, I got what I needed now, you're out the window, and so it's just,
I got something better.
yeah,
Right.
it's not professional. He shouldn't bring it into the workplace.
let's table Ben and Kate for a little bit till the next episode and move along to, we see that they show us the drag show that Kyle takes part in, but that's not really a major theme. It's
And was it? I mean, it was a drag show he took part in, but he wasn't dressed in drag. He was just dressed in hot pants
no,
in 2010. Are we talking
No,
about
we're
that
talking
one?
about on the boat.
We're talking about on the boat.
sorry.
yeah,
okay.
the guest Liza she wants a party.
Oh,
and
And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
says he looks
Okay.
like a Care Bear that's been
that's
or
yeah.
bombed by a Care Bear or something.
Yeah. But they don't really make that much of it. So
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. Let's talk about what does happen to Kyle on episode 10, and that is that Ben,
Cock blocks him.
well, he serves him sea urchin,
Oh, well, that, yeah.
and
He
that
has the allergic
really
reaction.
puts Kyle into a mess, and
Yeah.
he basically passes out, and he needs to have, antihistamines?
And again, Kyle, like, what are you thinking? Because
It's
he's
weird-
then said, he's
he
like,
said-
I gotta be careful around shellfish.
It's really,
like,
right.
you have to be careful around shellfish.
That was so good because I couldn't understand you. It took me through saying, "Oh, I gotta be careful around shellfish."
Why? If you have to be careful around shellfish, if you have shellfish
Why
allergies.
are you fucking with shellfish?
Yeah, why would
don't
you
even go
just
near it.
try something?
I think Kyle means well. He seems like a good guy, but there definitely seems like he just does things in the
He's just
wrong
kinda like, dun,
order.
Yeah, he's just kind of going around and like not
a
using his
butterfly.
brain. And I don't think he's dumb. I just think he's not thinking.
If you're allergic to shellfish, you can't just eat the sea urchin.
Yeah, wouldn't try.
Especially in the middle of the ocean, like
on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really bizarre.
yeah.
Let's talk about Ro and Kate for a second, because we see in episode 10 that Ro and Kate are FaceTiming, and it's starting to be difficult. There's some stress, whether it's the attention that Kate's not able to pay to Ro. She
Right.
mentions, I've never had someone I had to pay this much attention to.
Right.
The distance, that's factoring in, and the amount of time. So this is all starting to factor into their relationship.
Well, if you'd like me to dig in my dating archives, we can do that.
Maddie's dating
because
archives.
when
It's a
I
new
was-
segment. Let's
really
go.
quick. When I was in Australia, I was dating a guy back in Missouri. The time difference, awful, and it's annoying for both of us because it's like I'm going to bed, he's waking up, vice versa, and then it's like I'm in Australia. I need to be out on these excursions, like seeing the world. And he'd get pissed about that. And then it's like, well, I can't FaceTime you when I'm on a little catamaran going snorkeling and stuff. So it's very difficult and it is annoying. And long distance is really hard to make work.
And that
We
has
need
been
a
new
we
segment,
need a sound,
Maddie's dating advice.
Maddie's archive.
sound bite for that, like a sound effect for
I know,
that.
right? I got a lot of
Maddie's
them.
dating advice.
Next week on Below Deck, more
There you go.
Maddie's archives.
Great. Yes, I totally agree with what Maddie just said. And I also think that Kate is like a guy in the relationship. Like she is like, I don't really want to talk to you that much. Like she's just like playing that role. And it's funny because Ro is definitely the more masculine of the two of them. But Ro's a bit more like,
Mentality-wise.
yeah, needy and a bit more emotional and like I miss you and kissy and
Right.
so it's kind of funny.
Is that a guy-girl thing? Can't be reversed?
I mean, you're right.
No,
I
it
shouldn't.
can.
You're right. It's
Well,
not.
you want me to go back?
Stereotypical.
Save it for next week, Maddie.
You know, like the stereotypical role of the guy that's like, I need, I'm not so lovey-dovey, and then the girl's like usually a bit more clingy.
why
but
don't you pay
You're right.
attention to
It's not
me?
true. That's not true always. But it's funny to me because of. I don't know. I found that interesting.
Yes,
I find it interesting that
I-
Kate is like just like.
typically, and males are portrayed to be the more like, I don't need you, I want to hang out with the
Right.
bros, and girls are like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
under me.
Yeah.
That's stereotypical.
So, moving on from stereotypes to
Just say
tips. The guests on this episode don't leave that great a tip. It's a lower tip. The service was pretty much subpar, as we hear from Captain Lee. Towards the end of the episode, we have Ben's brother James visits.
Yeah.
And he is along for the ride, and we can talk about him in the next episode. Kelly and Nico start to have issues, and Nico is frustrated because he thinks Kelly should defend the deck team no matter what. We're going to talk about that in next episode. And finally, we find out that Dean is back, and Dean is the only guest that ever sent a dish back to Ben.
Yeah.
Dean. The dreaded Dean.
I thought it was hilarious how Ben and his brother sound identical.
Come on.
Literally identical.
I'm so sorry.
We can do whatever you want.
Guy Patterson mentioned that Ro and Kate are very interesting. They are no longer together.
News alert.
So
Maddie's dating advice. Maddie's dating
no, I'm
updates.
just
Thank you
we're gonna
for
have
that,
to keep an
Sky
eye on that, Sky
Patterson.
Patterson. Thank you. I'm gonna do some digging into that. So I'm
Nice.
sorry. Go back to James and Ben.
That's a great transition. James, Ben's brother, shows up. Nice to see him.
I liked him.
He's
Proper
cute.
man.
Yeah.
He's cute. Maddie's
accent.
single. She's
There we
ready.
go.
That
I'm ready to.
let's talk about tonight's episode now. That's basically
Yeah.
episode 10.
I wanted to chill with Ben and Emily drinking like whiskey and eating caviar.
I know, just hanging out in the crew quarters.
That looks fun.
They're very
that was mine.
comfortable around each
Yeah,
other.
they're
Like,
very
I thought
fast.
she'd be a little bit more like not kissing so much. Like the camera guys got them at least 6 times tonight kissing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like one of them was a makeout. They were
Yeah,
like went in,
yeah.
and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
Emily,
Yeah.
like shy little girl. What do you call rabbit?
Rabbits.
No,
Rabbits.
she's not.
Not that shy.
Not that shy. So
You're naughty rabbit.
All right, so thank you, Sky Patterson, for joining us every
Yes.
week. Now, episode 11,
Sliding.
Bosun Blues. Tonight's episode starts off with Ben sleeping in the master, arguing with Kate. There's tension still, and there's a broken panel in the master bathroom. We find out
literally
the toilet
the wall is hanging.
Yeah.
off.
is $10,000. Now,
Yeah.
I would love to know what a $10,000 toilet really looks like.
Well, you saw it. It
Yeah,
opens
you saw it.
itself.
Yeah, but I want to see like in person. That's
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Guess
usually
what?
I'm
I
all
don't-
about the $10.
I'm gonna
toilets.
one up you. I want to use it. So
That's like
Guys,
I
I
have
think
to.
it does
Sorry.
accomplishes the same thing.
Does
Yes.
it have a built-in bidet?
apparently, I think it has more than
Then
just
I do
that.
not
Plays
wanna use it.
music.
I
It
do
plays
not wanna use it.
music.
Let me know in the
And
the
like a
ch-
heated seat?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm
yeah,
sure it's
probably.
got all that
Let me
stuff.
know on social media this week, or in the chat, or in the comments, what's the most expensive toilet you've ever used, and the best thing about it. Because for me, I've never used anything other than your normal toilet.
yeah, no.
That's a fun fact.
I used one in Italy. Does that make it more expensive?
I used one at a Japanese restaurant that was supposed to be like crazy nice.
So
Okay.
the broken
New York.
the broken
believe
panel
talking about this.
the broken panel in the master bathroom is a big deal, and Captain's pissed. Captain
Yeah.
calls a meeting.
I don't think Captain's been happy ever
Yeah.
in his life.
At
He
the-
is sour grapes.
Well, at the meeting that he calls everyone to, he says that the behavior is unacceptable, and he says it's not a party palace, even though it's been a party palace. What's your take?
I think that Nico and Lauren, in this part, they seem to get a little bit better later on in the episodes, but we'll talk about. But they have such attitude, and she's like, they're mad about the panel, like, I don't care, and he's like, I don't care either. We weren't there. It's like, we all saw you on camera there. We all saw you acting like drunk fools. Like, it was just so rude, and you're at your workplace. This is your job. Like, I just don't even understand like what they're thinking.
It's called Tensions on the High Seas.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
my take.
Worked on that one.
Well, I also think it's their age showing for sure.
Yeah.
They're just a little. They're very green and maybe a little self-entitled, especially Nico, in my opinion. And maybe they were so blacked out they don't remember, so they to cover up them being like, well, I don't want to come off as a drunk. Like, I don't care, I didn't do it, but
Yeah.
in reality they might have.
So
blacked out.
Nico says that Kelly is doing a bad job while Kelly is just trying to do his job. Nico also says that the root of all evil on the boat is Kate.
Which
that was
is
really unfair.
BS. Nico
Yeah.
is, and then he also goes, Kelly was soft to begin with. Now he's too hard. Find a middle. It's like, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. You're soft because, oh, your big, big brother friend was really cool and now he's, and how he keeps going, he's like, go to bed, eat your food. It's like, literally, Kelly is just telling you what Captain
Captain
Lee said.
said.
And I want to, Captain Lee, why don't you go talk to them? I know you're going to be like, it's not my job. But fucking Nico doesn't seem to understand. I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
getting
it's a
heated because
hierarchy.
this is BS.
Yeah, I just don't understand what
Sorry,
they don't
wow.
understand about it
Hot.
being an order being passed down. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe Kelly, though, could be a bit of a better communicator. Potentially what he should say is, Captain just spoke to me. He told me you were to be in bed at 10 o'clock.
But
You're
then-
not to
is
leave
that
your
too
quarters.
soft?
No, but be like, and if this happens again, you won't just be hearing from Captain, you'll be hearing from me too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he should relay that it's not him.
Yeah.
I
But
think
don't
it's a
know.
mix of Kelly's inexperience, and he's just in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, and I hate to say this, but I feel like Captain Lee kind of wants Kelly to fail. And is
Yeah, he's
finding
being-
ways to make him
Oh my
just
gosh, though.
kind of crumble
But
under the pressure.
do you know what is hilarious? Is every single time I think that, then Kelly does another screw up, like he did at the end of this episode, which we'll also get to.
He's
But like
had some struggles.
every single time, I'm like, I literally wrote here like, Captain Lee is being like a jerk to like Kelly, and then at the
Is that
end
what
I'm
you
like,
literally wrote?
Kelly, how are you like screwing up again? Like you
Yeah.
know, it's just.
He's on a high, then he goes really,
Yeah.
really low, and then a little bit of a high,
But
and
I
then really
thought
low.
Lauren was really sweet at first, and now I'm seeing this nasty side of her.
So-
I don't like it.
Captain employs a punishment of going to bed early. What's your thoughts on like that?
I would be like, hell yeah, Captain, I'm in bed by 9:30. I'll do you 30 minutes better.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I love going to bed early. I'd be in bed right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had all drank pretty hard the
thank
night
you for
before,
not.
so
You're welcome.
I don't know. I don't like drinking 2 nights in a row, so like I would not have a problem with
I
that
just did for
punishment.
4 nights, and I honestly, I don't think I can ever do that again.
So while everyone knows that they have to go to bed early, Ben and his brother
push the
limits.
limit. I think
So where do we stand on Ben pushing the limits? He also says he feels like he's being treated unfairly. Do you think he deserves extra treatment because he's been the chef and he's been around the block and he's kind of with Captain? Where do we stand?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just think he, too, is acting a little self-entitled. And Captain Lee said, I can't give you, what's the
Special
word?
treatment,
Thank
or-
you, special treatment over others. Because then you know people are going to, shit's going to hit the fan. And, yeah, no, I think that was smart of Captain Lee.
He couldn't give him special treatment, but at the same point in time, I thought that situation was going to blow up, and I actually thought it went pretty smoothly because I thought it was good that Captain Lee gave him like an extra hour because his brother was in town all the way from England. Ben is the only person in that group that got in trouble that is a superior, and Ben and him have worked together now for numerous charter seasons. So I thought that was good that he was a little lenient with him. And then I also thought that it was good that once Captain came down and really put his foot down, that he respected that and
He did, which
said
was
goodbye.
a good
Yeah, and was like,
moment.
"All right, we
no
gotta
matter
go."
what
Yeah.
he felt, he did say when the captain speaks that you listen.
Yeah.
So he did handle that well in the long run, I thought. Let's get to the guests. Tonight's episode, Dean returns, and Dean's been on past seasons.
Yeah, many times.
Dean plays to the cameras. Do you agree?
Yes.
I do think so, but I also just think it's his nature because the first time he was ever on, he was just like persnickety and
It is his
difficult.
nature, but I think that it's been his nature, and he recognizes
Yes,
that
now
that's
he
like
plays
his.
this role.
That's his thing.
Now
That's
he's
his
like,
brand.
I'm
It
difficult.
is his brand, and I feel like Below Deck get him on each season on purpose now.
Yeah.
Because
But why would Ben screw? It's so funny. I think he
It's-
now makes Ben nervous.
well,
he does.
He,
Yeah.
and he
Totally
says
gets
it.
to Ben's head.
Ben. Kate even says that Ben has a sensitive relationship with Dean, and that there's pressure on that first meal because basically Dean's the only one that's given back food
Yeah.
to Ben. Which
Out of the
I don't
10,000
necessarily think
courses.
that's true, even though we know Ben is a
Right.
great chef. Dean brings all guys on the boat, so it's
Mm-hmm.
an all-male charter. And one thing before we get to Dean's the thoughts on Dean is this is for you two, but also you guys out there. Ben says, "Can you imagine life without butter?" So can you? I mean, where do you stand on butter?
I use a lot of olive oil.
Can you
so
imagine
I
life
think
without
I could
butter?
get by without
Question.
butter. Margarine and olive oil, I think I'd be good.
James, where do you stand on butter?
If we never had Fabio, I don't know. I just really don't know.
Got it. So let us know this week in the comments. Can you imagine life without butter? Because I think I can,
I think I could.
That's my opinion.
As long as I've got other,
but coming from a chef, you can't.
yes.
Anyways.
You can't make an apple
Maddie
streusel
wants to
without
tell you more
butter.
about dating advice, but we're saving it.
yeah.
There was one time I
Yeah,
used
she's
butter.
like,
No,
once I,
just kidding.
I was waiting for
Totally kidding.
No, you're not. Okay.
Scheiße.
So, what's our thoughts though further on Dean?
He kind of annoys me, but
I wouldn't be friends with him.
You
Yeah.
No. We wouldn't get along.
As you said, he plays to the camera. I think that's really true.
I would just be
I think if there
embarrassed
is a
to go out to
problem-
dinner with him or
Yeah.
grab. No.
Like,
no.
I think in a normal meal, like, okay, there's no flavor. Like, I would have been like, can I just get some soy sauce? Like, if they needed salt, just add some soy sauce. Like, I
Well-
didn't think it needed to be the issue that it became.
I do imagine myself as a guest on this yacht. And I think my menu would be a little bit high maintenance, according to Ben, because I don't eat a lot of foods. Like, I wouldn't eat the duck, I wouldn't eat the shrimp. So, literally just
But then
chicken
that's
and
not
eggs.
high maintenance because you would say that in your preference.
I guess so, yeah.
But let's talk about the meal for a second, because what's interesting is first, Ben kills it the first meal. Dean comes in, tells him, "Oh, you killed it. It was great."
And he goes, I
But-
wasn't looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
that was awkward.
That was so rude.
But then Dean mentions to Ben, "Well, now you have to even go further." So he adds the pressure to do
Yeah.
even better, and that's where then Ben actually, in an interesting moment, admits to messing up because he starts tasting the meal
And
that
he's
had
like,
the soup that has no taste, and he realizes that he had poured
He poured in
the ice.
that's a lot
yeah.
of water.
And it was good job by Bravo showing us that scene
Yeah,
where he
when
put
I
in the
saw
ice.
that ice, I was like, something's
go,
happening
Bravo.
with this ice. And he was like, oh, this dish, I'd kiss a chef if he. I was like,
It was an interesting moment to see Ben actually admit that he was like, you know what, he's right.
Yeah.
I messed that up.
I don't think there's any correcting Dean at all or
Right.
telling him that he's wrong. I think
Do we
Ben
think-
was just like, all right. Yeah,
Do we think that's another part of just the Emily distraction?
I do.
He's
I
not
think so, too.
100%
I do.
clear, right?
Because what chef wouldn't taste it before he sent it out? Like the final.
Yeah, because he's always tasting his food.
I think he's distracted, and I think he's just
That
in
is
his
a
own head. He
no-no.
was like thinking about the flowers and tomorrow and making her chai tea and everything. So it's like,
Getting that
Yeah.
massive flower arrangement.
yeah. First of all,
Let's
I'm
speak
not
about
like
that.
those flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's too much.
it's Emily's
Yeah.
birthday. Ben orders so many flowers that Captain asks, did someone die? Which
Yeah.
is
It
hilarious.
did actually.
It was
to me,
so
looked
many
like
flowers.
It
It
was
was
not,
gaudy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of flowers if
I mean,
you were
listen,
in a big
it's
space.
sweet, and a guy getting you nice flowers, and those were nice flowers.
I'll take
you
it.
know, you can tell when flowers are nice.
Yeah.
Those were nice ones, but it certainly was not my taste.
Maddie, where do you stand on flowers?
You know, they smell wonderful sometimes. Sometimes flowers don't smell like it. You're like, why do I have them? But I don't get flowers ever, so I don't know. I'm just. There's this one time I was dating. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I'm done with those jokes. I think the flowers were very pretty. It was a nice gesture. It's her birthday. She's
Yeah.
far from home. I think it was sweet.
It was very sweet.
Just
It would make me smile. I certainly would love them if I got them. I'm just, as an outsider, those would not be
Hey,
my
Maddie.
favorite.
and
What you got?
what? Yeah. No, I don't like how Ben put Kelly in that situation because now Captain Lee's bitching at Kelly.
It was weird how
It's
Kelly
like,
was
how
the one
am I
that
supposed
he
to?
didn't.
Yeah, go talk to Ben. Captain Lee is just too much.
How are the flowers Kelly's fault?
Exactly.
Why?
Tell us.
I
How are
wish
the
you
Ke-
were-
how are the
I wish
flowers
we
Kelly's
talked
fault?
about
I
that.
didn't
Captain
think
Lee,
that made
tell
any
us.
sense. I think that Kelly, I think it was Sky in the live chat also agreed that Kelly's a bad communicator. Like, if I were him, I'd be like, well, I didn't order the flowers. I'm simply
Maybe he's getting
making
like
a-
scared and he.
Well,
Yeah.
Kelly's trying to cover for his people, but then getting in trouble for that. When he doesn't cover for him, he's getting in trouble. So he can't really win. And I
like
think
lose.
what we're starting to witness on this season of Below Deck is that we have great TV.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that they're creating more drama
Yeah.
and that this is actually a cast where we're going to see most of this cast back.
Did you ask this before? Is Captain Lee playing to the cameras? Didn't we talk about this?
We have,
Do
and
you
I think he
is?
does,
Yeah.
and I think he's taken
Yeah.
on this persona of a
yeah.
hard ass and kind of looking for a little drama, knowing that that's good for the television.
And literally, if you look back on the first few seasons, his amount of FaceTime is like doubled,
Minor.
if not
Oh,
tripled
exactly.
now.
Oh,
So
oh, yeah.
now, like, I mean, he's so
Exactly.
much more part of the show, and I think it's because he likes it.
He's grown into this
So,
role.
yeah.
He recognizes
Yeah.
that there's a character to play.
Yeah.
It fits well with the boat.
Yeah.
And it makes for better TV.
Yeah.
And I think I said this maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, whenever, but I just don't think he's, it's like Lee and then everyone else, you know? Like, it should be one whole ship, one whole team, you're
Lee
working together.
and Kate. And
He's
everyone else.
That's
well,
true.
Also,
but Lee, I just don't think
he's-
Captain Lee's
You're right. He
a
set it
very
up.
good leader because
Well,
he's
Yeah.
not, I don't know.
He set it up that
Yeah.
this is going to be his ship and you're all going to serve him. That's how he's going to run his ship. When you're in charge, you can set it up however you want.
Yeah.
He has made it clear that he is in charge. Everyone's under him and fall in line.
Yeah.
And he's just playing to that. And
Yeah.
and it is troubling because there's a lot of issues. There has been a lot of issues this season. It's
And-
not going as smooth.
Speaking of the mishap again.
Right. And so there's a couple, right? So Kelly, before we even get into the second mishap, Kelly crashes into the boat in front of Captain.
After Captain goes, watch the
Yeah.
bow of the
Yeah.
boat or whatever.
That
and
wasn't
it's
good.
like,
He crashes right into the bow. And then, furthermore, Captain says he's going to make alterations. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Teases that one. And then they have another
what
issue,
alteration
right?
would he make? I'm really
put
confused. Like,
Nico
what he's
in
even.
charge?
But why would he do that? Nico, he referred
Nico's
to.
a wuss.
I don't think he thinks Nico's that
I'm
competent
just kidding,
either.
Nico.
Are you kidding?
I think I am.
You're not sure.
I'm
What
not
did you
sure.
say?
I'm
Nico's
sick
what?
right now, so my brain's a little foggy.
Let me switch this on.
Maddie's dating advice. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see next week because I think he's going to make the alteration next
Well,
week.
towards the end of the episode, right? So they Kelly and Nico,
Go
they
to
actually make up where Nico talks about how, you know, you get over things, and Kelly says, I don't hold grudges, which is cool. I mean, while he's inexperienced, there's qualities there that he can grow into it.
Totally.
And he's usually straightforward. You got to understand too that we're watching this, and they've been all in this, you know, confined spaces, working together for a while now. So it's easy to get on each other's nerves
and find things about each
other
person that you're like,
frustrate you, and
yeah.
then you can accentuate those. And
Yeah.
so it was cool to see that, even though like we saw, like, it's weird because sometimes you see like great Nico, and then you see like the side of Nico, you're like, wow, it's crazy. There's so much
kind of reminiscent
variance.
of Danny Zertek from
your
Below
best
Deck
friend.
Med. Yeah.
Danny, if you want to go on a date, we got someone here for you.
No, hell no. That's a hard no.
Hard no. Sorry, Danny.
Hard
Hard
no.
no.
So we see that the cooler. There's an issue
Yeah.
where
Oh my gosh, you called that.
Which, yes.
She said when they were like,
it
oh,
was
the
like
key
a
is
premonition.
here.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, so pretty much they take the guys to Bass, little island or spot.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, you know, they take the picnic out and whatever, and the keys to the boat are in the cooler, one of the coolers. And of course, when they're leaving, Dean has this brilliant plan that he doesn't want to take the taxi all the way 15 minutes back to the boat. They're going to swim out to where the yachts are, and then Kelly comes to pick them up. And then, you know, oh my God, why am I blanking?
They left that Nico has the
thank you.
keys and Kelly has Nico's radios, so they're screwed.
So Kelly has no keys and double time on the radio, so he can't get a hold of Nico on shore. It's all screwed.
And then to me, it looked like Kelly, he showed his inexperience, but he also
Mm-hmm.
shows that he's been kind of beaten down by Captain, that at this point, it seems like he maybe knows what to do, even though he understands that there's an issue. And he
second-guessing
knows
himself.
what to do, but then he's second-guessing himself. And he's feeling like, I need to talk to Captain. And then, because when he's talking to Captain, he starts working through everything with Captain, like, to Captain, instead of just doing it. And I feel like he's been made to feel this way, where he has to
I
buy
think
Captain
so,
Lee
yeah.
over the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult position.
Which is so unfortunate that he feels this way, you know? And it's like that gut, that pit in your stomach. Like, I can
Yeah.
feel it for him, because you're like, oh, what do I do now, you know?
Yeah.
Was it smart of him to contact Captain, like, right away? Or do you think he should have just taken the 15-minute ride back, picked up and gone?
Do you know what I noticed?
No, tell us.
Yeah, that's the next thing. But let me just say something that I noticed that I thought Kelly did wrong is when they were doing that Bass Island experience. Did you guys notice Kelly had his top off, which he
Yes.
had lectured
Yes.
the other guy, I can't remember, Trevor. About
Yes.
the
Oh,
I
first
forgot about
week.
him.
And he was just kind of taking it all in. I felt like he was swimming with them. I felt like he was looking at the view. You're on a job. He should have been focused. If he had his head in the game, I don't think he would have forgotten the key. I think, you know, you do your checklist. Do I have these things before?
I don't know.
So,
I mean,
I felt like he should have probably been a bit more focused on his work and a little less, you know, heads in the cloud.
how do you not look for your keys before you, because you're like, okay, they're in a cooler.
That's what I
It's like,
mean. I think he's just not, like, focused.
oh, it drives you insane.
Focus. So we see at the end of tonight's episode, Captain Lee on his way to save the day.
Pissed. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Damn it. That wasn't a really good one. Dang
That's
it.
pretty good.
Well,
hoping to be
we've
better.
got some predictions, I
Yeah.
think.
All right.
Let's do some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I always want there like to be a genie that comes
I
out,
know,
says it, and then
like,
goes back down.
ooh.
Where's the lamp?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna go first.
All right, you want me to go first? Okay. I think.
No answer. Yes, go.
Well, I feel like you always like a second to think, and we always make you go first.
I know,
And
I
then you're
do.
kind of like, why do I have to go first? So I'm taking the pressure off you this week.
Thank you.
I think that
Such a
Ashley
sweetheart.
is going to come and get really pissed. I think that that's going to be like some interesting drama because we saw that in the preview. I think that she could potentially like go home mad because she's on her hormones and everything. So I think that will be really interesting. I think that Captain is going to like put Kelly in his cabin for the day or something. Like I think he's gonna
Go down to
Like
your
jail?
cabin.
really like almost like that, like punish him and really come down hard on this because this was a major faux pas. At first I thought that maybe Captain was blowing it out of proportion, but then we see that clip of Dean being like, well, because I was stranded on an island, blah, blah, blah. So the guests know that, like, there was a major mess up, and, like, he's going to get in trouble for that. And then I think Kate and Ben are really going to blow up, and I think it's going to cause the strain in Emily and Ben's relationship because she's going to feel in the middle and everything else, and I think it could be a problem for Paradise.
Thank you for going first. You took mine, but that's okay. I'm gonna
stop
go.
it
I'm gonna
right
go
now.
off of it though.
Okay.
I'm gonna go off of the whole Ben and Emily situation. And this might be reaching. Let's just reach, shall we? I think Ben might not continue his good streak with Dean for the rest of this charter, and then that's going to really affect him, and then he's going to take it out on Emily, and then that's why they have that confrontation, and he's like, why isn't everything good or something, and then she's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know, is it good? And then so I think that's going to play into it. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Such a reach. Wow. Here's my prediction. I think that Dean is going to leave a really nice tip. Even though we've seen, food issues and the issues with the crew, I think Dean will leave a great tip. They'll have a great time. We'll see Dean down the road in another season. You'll see us next week.
Yes.
And also, give us 5 stars on YouTube, on iTunes, however you do it. Like, comment, follow these lovely ladies on social media, Snapchat. They're really good at that. And we'll see you guys next week. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. And weekly, you can catch you two where?
I'm Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at @TheAngelaStruck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
And I'm Madison Conklin. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maddie Says This and Snapchat.
Hit her up for a date. We'll see you next week.
Oh. No. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.